Okay folks, what we have is a Kenmore heavy duty super capacity washer dryer combination. We do have a problem with it and we're going to try to resolve that today. Part came in, so we're going to go at it. And where the issue is right here on the wash temperature. We need this switch. When it gets over into here, you can tell it's kind of bad. You don't get you get hot water, you get warm water, you get cold water, but when you get the warm cold, you just don't get anything. You just get cold water. So it's not working in that position there. So the first thing we're going to do is open the top, make sure people know where to find that model number, and that model number is here on the door, and that's important if you're going to get the part you need for this. Okay, and here's the part that came, so you can look at that. That's the switch. All right, and what we have to do now is do a little disassembly. So let me move this out of the way. The only tools you're going to need is the Phillips regular straight screwdriver and a pair of needle nose, just to pull the contacts off the switch. We'll pull those up for there for now, and we'll go at it. So first thing you have to do is you have to get down in here, and there's a set of screws here on the side. I'll back up so you can see exactly where they are. The first main screw you're going to pull off is this screw here on this panel. There's one on both sides, so we'll remove those. I removed both those screws, that one there, and this whole panel drops down. And lo and behold, look what we've got. This is a perfect spot for all this stuff. We've got the technical data sheet, where nobody will find it, the electrical schematics, so we know where that's at, a little dust deposit. And what we have to do is pull off this upper section. And to do that, we have a couple more screws, okay? One is that little black screw you see up there in the top right. And another one, you got two other ones you got to pull out. And that's the one where the white tab is, and the one right to the right of it. So I'll pull those out now. And there's a set on both sides, as you can see. So you can see that those screws are out. I got one more to go here. Trying to do this and balance the back camera at the same time. As you can see, that whole top section starting to drop down now. We'll pull that out. And what you have is, that's what you should have looking at it when you get done. There's 4 short screws and 2 long screws and 2 little black screws that go into that plastic portion of that. Now, according to what I understand, this is on 2 plastic hooks in there, and you work that up and down. Let me see, I'll shut this off. Okay, got it loosened up here. I'm going to drop this down, and that's what we got. So you can see what we have is a fire looking for some place to happen, and it's just accumulation of dust, so it might be a good idea, even if that's working correctly, to pull it off and vacuum that dust out. It's the circuit board. It's all the lint, because those lint filters don't do a very good job. And there's the other side, and what we have is this switch right down in here that we're going to be replacing. You can see it right there, and you have to pull that knob off the front, which I'll do right now. You can pull those straight out. They're the typical pull off knobs. I just pull that off, keep everything in a tray there so you can keep it from disappearing into the machine. But as you can see, this is a real mess, and we even got some change, so maybe we'll make some money today. There's a couple quarters back in there and a nickel. Okay.
Is it running?
Yeah. Don't talk. Okay. Now what we have, let me show you what we got. I pulled the knob off the front, And you can see there's a couple of tabs on that. That basically kind of locks that into position. So you have to twist that from the other side after we pull the wires out. And show you better here that's, you can see it slides down in, and then there's a pin that locks that into position there. So what we'll do, and pay attention here to the, let me get my needle nose. We'll pull these wires off. That's interesting. There we go. Whoop. Get this up here. Hold that light there a minute, please. And there's the gotta kind of do a double-ended deal here because it's kind of a you can see where it's got to go, and there's that. If you bring the light around this way a little bit, you can see where that is right there. Let me get the screwdriver. We'll push that in. That's what locks it into position. If we can get it in there. Probably a smaller screwdriver would work a little better, but let me see this. All right, I got that pin depressed. I pressed it in with a razor knife, got it in there, and now you can see this, that turns around and it'll come out. It'll come out of, there we go. That's the old one. Okay, now we'll put the new one in. That's going to go. Let's compare the back side. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So put that in, and that's going to turn clockwise like that. Let's get it in there. Challenges. It's going to turn counterclockwise. And that yeah, it'll get hung up. It doesn't want to go either way. See what we got going on. There we go. Let's take and put it in this way. Okay, it's oriented. There's a wider space on this side and this side, and that's why it's not going in. So it'll only go in one way, which is good news. Put it in here with the narrow side. Stick the screwdriver in here, or the pin nose. And that should lock in. Just got to get it moved a little bit here. in there, but like everything else, never goes the way you think it's going to go. So let's see if I can get a little bit more out of this. Pin to lock it in is right there. You can see it. Huh? Okay, let me see if I can. Okay, let me turn this off. Okay, it didn't. That part didn't want to line up the way it's supposed to, which doesn't surprise me. But you can see that. Hold us a minute, on the light a minute. You can see that catch right there. It's got to go in the hole, and it wasn't lining up, so I bent it a little bit on the part to help it go in there when I turned it. So now it's locked into position, and we can put the knot back in. There we go. That's back in order. All right. We gotta have a little light here. You can see what we got. You got that wiring order. You got the yellow and the blue to the left. And I can make out the numbers. The number there for the blue is 2, so you'll know you're oriented properly. Then the rest obviously will fall in. And then the red one, and then the purple white one that's behind it. And that pretty much does it. Okay. Alright, so we've got that into position. This comes up, and as you can see here, there's a couple of hooks on here on that plastic that go into those slots, and they get forced up. Okay, so that's what locks that unit in, and then the screw, that small black screw, goes in the bottom right there, helps hold that into position. So while I put that back on, I'll zip through this and then we'll get back. Okay, got her back together. As you can see, basically the reverse order of taking it apart. Got those screws back in there, and by the way, the 2 long screws go in this part of your plate right here. And so anyway, to test this, we move this through here. The issue we had was we weren't getting any warm water, which is a cold water, warm water, or hot water mix. So we'll just turn this on. Oh, by the way, you want to make sure you have your power off during the process of repairing this. Okay. Well, guess what? It's warm water. Good news. So, let's turn that off. And we're back in operation. And other than my time, that cost me 22 bucks. So that's about what the part cost, and I got it off of Amazon. Not that I'm a tell you to go to Amazon, but I buy a lot of stuff off Amazon, and they're good because if it doesn't work, you send it back, and guess what? You get something different. But that's the part. Good luck. Any questions? Don't hesitate to ask.